In the last two episodes, we started investigating the viability of buying a pre-loved hot hatch instead of buying a brand new B-segment car. In part 1, we went through the options available in the market and detailed what you get for the price. In part 2, we went over the running costs and the common issues. You can recap the rest of the article on our Route Hunters website via the link in the description. In this third part, we finally get to see the dynamic potential of these cars with the help of Malaysian rally legend Karamjit Singh on the Dato Sagor Racetrack. Which out of these three hatches should you get? Let's find out in this episode of Route Hunters. We check out these three high-mileage performance cars with the help of My2Car, your trusted and transparent online car selling platform. My2Car is the easiest way for you to sell your pre-loved cars fast, safe and easy. The Polo GTI may not have the headlining figures here in terms of raw output, and it's the heaviest, but it's the only one with a 7-speed DSG gearbox. That gearbox, coupled with the twin-charge engine, gives the Polo a relentless acceleration from a very low RPM. All 250 Nm start from very early, and you have one extra gear to spread it over, which is a huge advantage on the racetrack. The chassis itself is very safe in its setup. There's plenty of grip thanks to the widest set of tyres here. As you can see, it clears the corners very cleanly. The drawback is, it can feel a little less engaging from behind the wheel.
The Volkswagen is the fastest, the Polo. I would say very clinical, easy car to drive fast. Gearbox, the DSG gearbox does a good job. And of course the super turbo engine, yeah. So anybody can drive it fast, I would say.
That said, the least involving hatch sets a time of 53.05 seconds. The first of the two manual hatches in this shootout, the 208 GTI, happens to be the most analog car here. Unlike the Fiesta's stock vectoring and the Polo GTI's DSG box, it's all chassis here. It puts out the most amount of torque and the delivery is quite meaty. The steering may feel a little soft and numb initially, but eventually you'll get used to it and it's pretty accurate. The highlight has to be the chassis setup. It can go from mild understeer to snap oversteer in an instant. You have to work at the wheel and the weight balance to get the best time. Plus the damper setting is the sweetest for our roads.
The most fun was the Peugeot, of course. I felt the Peugeot was the most powerful, a bit too much of wheel spin. I must say I'm a bit biased with Peugeots, Fraser's Hill or up to Cameron Highlands, I would definitely choose the Peugeot.
The 208 GTI comes in at 53.11 seconds. Just a mere 0.06 seconds behind the Polo GTI. We finally come to the car all of us considered to be the most track focused. It's got the sharpest road handling and everything like the clutch feel, gear shift and even the dampers give you a far more serious feel from behind the wheel. Even the Recaro buckets hug you in a way that you don't get in the other cars. The Fiesta ST stock vectoring, its engine power band and the gear ratios are more suited to pure track work compared to the other cars here. However, on this day and on this track, this Fiesta ST was oversteering everywhere, losing precious time off the clock. It could be down to its stiffer than usual racing mounts which were installed on this car or the different tyres used on it. Either way, it offered a wild ride.
The Ford, I found it a bit too tail happy. even though I'm a rally driver, I like tail happy cars, but the normal driver on the road, especially if it's raining, how are you going to control the tail happiness of the Ford? Yeah. It felt very solid. The Ford felt very solid. Engine response is good.
Despite being the favourite to win the track shootout, it clocked a lap time of 54.08 seconds. It's a different feel when you buy a purpose-built performance car. They give a rigid chassis, up-rated performance-oriented parts, straight from the factory. Yet, they feel premium inside out and you really stand out from the crowd. Remember, these cars were worth nearly 150,000 ringgit brand new. Thanks to nearly 5 to 6 years worth of depreciation, they are at least half of the original sticker price. No doubt, they still cost more to maintain when compared to a Peugeot Myvi, Toyota Vios or a Honda City. But if you're brave enough to make that gap, you will be rewarded with lots of fun time behind the wheel. Each of these cars have a fiercely loyal fan following behind them. All three of them have very unique experiences. It really comes down to your own preference. If you're hunting for a performance motoring bargain, which will not be a financial mistake, then we highly recommend choosing one of these three as your next purchase. Would you choose any one of these over a City, Vios or even the Civic? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.